Hi, and welcome to Limited Experience, where we learn how to get better at Limited by talking through all the mistakes I'm making. My name is Jumbo Cactarx27. You can call me Jumbo, and today we're opening pack 2 of 6 for our first deck. Let's get started. Here's our cards from yesterday. I'm just gonna move those over here. I think we're gonna stick in the middle. The last middle pack was not great, but I've got a better feeling about this one. Or maybe I'm just deluding myself. Let's find out together. Okay. And right away, we are rewarded with this precious pup. How can this be bad when we're greeted with this friend right up front? Apart from Markov Manor just generally not being a great set. Holographic foil full art swamp immediately punished. All right. Loxodon Eavesdropper, also in foil. When it enters the battlefield, investigate. And when you get your second card draw each turn, it gets +1/+1 and vigilance, but only until end of turn. That's it. You could play this. This is fine. This is a 3/3 for 4 isn't great, but it's fine. Blood splatter analysis. This seems better. For a black and a red, when it enters the battlefield, it does 3 damage to a target creature that an opponent controls. Whenever one or more creatures die, you mill a card and put a bloodstain counter on this, and then sacrifice it when it has 5 or more. And when you do, you get to return something from your graveyard. I've never been great at judging the value of milling yourself out and treating the graveyard as just a second hand. I don't play black very often for this reason, and so maybe that's something I need to do better about. Got a wrench. It's an equipment. Not very exciting. Case of the Burning Masks. Deals 3 damage when it enters to a creature that the opponent has, and when you... Okay, so this is like a red burn thing. And then sacrifice this case, exile top 3 cards of your library. You can play one of them this turn. That seems pretty weak. If I'm going through the trouble of solving a case, unless I just solve it for free, basically. Like, I guess if I'm playing a red burn deck, this is an easy thing to include. But if I'm not, the double red and the mana cost, the one-time effect, makes it a little harder to use, I think. A Merfolk Advisor. Can't be blocked this turn as long as you sacrifice an artifact this turn. That's just such a weird... Like, I guess if you got a lot of food or clues or something. Scene of the crime. Enters the battlefield tapped. Add colorless. Tap an untapped creature you control to add one of any colors. Okay. That's just alright. I guess it turns on the Merfolk Advisor. Review Ghazi Inspector. 1/3 for 2. Enters the battlefield. Okay, so maybe we get to pump it a little. The chase is on. A little bit of a pump and first strike, and you get a clue for 2 and a red. That's not too bad. That seems pretty good. Jaded Analyst. For 2, you get a defender, a 3/2 defender. And whenever you draw your second card each turn, it loses defender and gets vigilance until end of turn. So, I mean, if I'm in blue and I'm drawing a lot of cards, which is the thing blue likes to do, this seems fine. And if not, then it's a good blocker. This seems pretty good. I'm feeling positive about this common. Slime Against Humanity. So I like slimes, and this is definitely a meme card. If I pull 3 of these, I think that's a really strong push towards green. But let's be realistic here. This is a common, but it ain't that common. Uh, this card is worth more than your average common, if I recall correctly. But maybe if we're in green, we've got more than one of these. Those are the two conditions we would need to use it. I don't think we would probably end up using it. Seasoned Consultant, for 1 and a white, you get a 1/3. When you attack with 3 or more creatures, they get buffed. Yeah, I mean, if I'm swinging out with a lot of creatures, if I'm doing White Weenie or something like that, Boros, Agency Coroner, sacrifice another creature, draw a card. This is expensive, but maybe this is a good top end. For 3/6, and I've got a sack outlet that gets me card draw. Seems pretty good. Seems pretty good. Yeah, alright, that seems pretty good. Rakish Scoundrel is our last card for the pack. Okay. 2, a black and a green. Death Touch, always good to see. It's got Disguise, so I can play it face down. And when it gets turned face up or enters the battlefield, someone gets to be indestructible till the end of the turn. Okay, so this is not the pack of bombs I had been hoping for. Oh, this is a dark area on the screen for some reason. This is not the pack of bombs I had been hoping for. But this isn't terrible. Blood Spatter Analysis is really cheap. So even if it doesn't do a lot, it's good. I can imagine seeing some kind of burn thing here with these 2 cards, for sure. I think I've got some kind of blue thing going on here. Does this go with these 2? It probably doesn't. This seems more like a Dimir card to me, with sacrificing creatures to draw cards. This might be harder to fit into something than I thought. We've also got... Does this fit... Let's look at this first. This doesn't really fit here, but if I'm splashing red, that's a good choice for something to splash in, because it's just a nice little combat trick. This guy... Is this worth... Is this worth playing? I don't... Collecting evidence is just feels so hard sometimes, especially, on turn 3 or 4 where there hasn't been a lot of interaction from your opponent yet. Loxodon Eavesdropper seems more playable. I was thinking about it after recording the last video, and the one thing I remember about one of the things I remember about the pre-release for this set was it was a slower format. You had a bit more time to draw cards and play bigger creatures. So maybe this is better than I'm giving it credit for. And then these things, these things interact well with each other, but it's such a... this is just so weird. I guess maybe if the set... Let me take a look here. So our previous pack had some Reasonable Doubt, and it had this Candlestick. That's not bad. Conspiracy Unraveler here would work well with the Blood Splatter Analysis. Maybe there's a blue, black, red deck here. I hate to go 3 colors, because 2 colors is sometimes hard enough. But Polygraph Orb, maybe there's a play here to make... Oh yeah, we did have some good green cards. Maybe there's a play here to another artifact creature. to make, maybe there's a line. We'll have to see when we get all 6 packs. But maybe there's a line where this guy, this furtive courier, is alright and is good, and there's enough artifacts to support it. Alright. Well, I guess that's going to be it for today. How did we do you think? What's the best card here? What's the best card given what we've seen so far? I'm not really seeing a clear line right now. But I guess we'll find out what happens with the next pack. There's still 4 more booster packs we get to open to figure this out. So we've got time for this to develop. I'll see you next time when we open another pack. Thanks for coming. Bye.